I know plenty of people that don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't do recreational drugs. They're not even addicted to, that one thing that a lot of us are, like social media, scrolling, because I got to monitor that. It's the damn food. It's the, it's the food that pulls a lot of people in. You can get a hold of that, man, it's game changing. And I think a lot of people just because they can't visualize it. That's why people try to pressure you to do it. Here's a fun fact. I'll never miss a lot of the foods that I used to eat. And people be like, no, you miss this, man. You don't miss it this a little bit? Nope. Because I always feel like crap, physically, mentally. I'll never want to go back to that. And it throws people off because they haven't been able to put themselves in that space yet. I think everybody can. If I can change, I think everybody can. Because it's such a powerful hold that is, like my vice was alcohol, but the alcohol would push me to the food. But you sitting there saying, man, I'm gonna change. And then 2 seconds later, you sitting there eating something you know you ain't got no business eating. And you did it. And that's the powerful thing to happen in your mind, right? Man, I said no, but I'm gonna do it anyway. My worst time for me, not for you, I don't speak for anybody else, was when I was 300 pounds. And then I was creeping back up to that around 2020. And I had to catch it. By that time, I knew what I needed to do. I was just in a calorie surplus, flailing about, right? But calorie deficit, body weight and protein, however you do your carbs. I go low carb sometime. Right now, I'm monitoring them, right? Fasting cycle. We know what we need to do. It's the classics. I'll say this speaking for me because I don't care what anybody else has going on. I'm not fully successful if the first indicator of me is not in check. I could be good in certain things. I could be talking to you about higher ed, but if I don't have me in check, I'm not fully successful. I'm just good in those other areas. So I lead with my health. And that makes people uncomfortable because when I say that, they're thinking I'm talking about them. No, that's just how I operate in this world. So my advice is always get it together, get it in check. I had gained the weight in 2020 just because I had an injury. Like if you used to follow these videos, I used to run before I would do my circuit. Some people say it's not a good idea to run before, after. It's just so much noise out there now. Do you? But I used to run before, and then I had a groin injury because the gyms like closed down and I was doing the same clip of a run outside. I used to run on like 9 for like 25, 30 minutes. Then I was running outside. I'm stepping on pine cones because it was still like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was dark. I had a groin injury and it didn't really heal. And I put on all that weight and I was in a calorie surplus. And then I woke up one morning to walk and that wasn't really working out. I had bought like a magnetic treadmill. I was walking in my living room and I would go put it in my shed and I still was just putting on the weight. I wasn't quite ready to get back into the deficit. I knew that. I knew that, but I was blaming it on the cardio. And my girl suggested the stairs. I went out there and almost died and I said, I like this. And then I started the stairs and I locked back into my deficit. And I ain't going back to that 235 as long as I can control it. Now, first thing people will say is, man, I got these injuries. I got them too. I got the joints too. As they say, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. I'll go from feet to head. That's not a pause, but every time you even say the word head now, it's pause, right? My feet, I have what's called collapsed arches, falling arches. That means somewhere along the line, the bridge just broke. I think it was because I was heavier. I was 300 pounds. Maybe when I went to Afghanistan, I had that IBA on all the time. I don't know. But around 2009, my feet was just bothering me. And they was like, oh, you have collapsed arches. Crazy, right? And my left leg, I have Osgood Slotters, is it Slotters? Which is odd because only like teenagers get that. But I had got it as an adult. And my right leg, if you remember when we was on the USS Essex in deck department, I had left there because I was limb due, because I had broke my kneecap, my patella. I had a fractured patella. So that didn't fully heal. Because of the feet and the knees, I got bad hips, unfortunately. So I got to wear these arches in my shoes, in every pair of shoes that I have, which is dumb that I walk around with Crocs like I do. In 2004, I herniated 2 discs, so there's that. And I remember there was times I used to have sciatica. You know when you got the pain that run down your leg? Luckily, I started seeing a chiropractor, and then I started doing stretches and stuff like that, so that helps out with it. Elbows, I had tennis elbow in both elbows, but now I got bone spurs. So there's that. Each shoulder, I have bursitis, and then in this shoulder, I have a separated AC joint. And then because my back is out of alignment sometimes, I get these weird headaches where it feels like my spine is going to come out the top of my skull sometimes. That's how it feels. Like I can describe it. sometimes. If you notice, my knuckle's a little hidden here on my right hand because I'm right-handed. I broke this hand on the ship and they put a cast on it on the ship and it didn't heal right. So they had to re-break the hand so it would heal right. So there's that. They pulled my wisdom teeth on the ship when I first got to my first ship and they got infected. So I had a mouth guard for a couple of years, but if I open my mouth too wide, it'll crack. I ain't got no business doing that anyway, so I don't wear the mouth guard anymore. Like, what am I opening my mouth that wide for? Pretty banged up, but every day I get up and I do my rehab and all this other stuff. But I tell you what, I would be definitely harming myself more if I kept a weight on. Like, I already told you, it's 4 to 6 pounds of pressure for every pound you are over your set weight. If I kept all that on, man, I would be in worse pain than I already am. So take it from somebody that was over 100 and some pounds more than what I am now. Even when I was 235, I wasn't happy with that. Take it from somebody that got a laundry list of injuries, that was addicted to alcohol, that led to me being addicted to some of these foods. You can turn it around, you just have to want to. Like I said the other day, don't you want to see? I be want to see what's up under there. So it will come off as standoffish, but you have to take a step back and think about why that is a problem. I'm not out there like, I got the garage gym, especially with all the noise that's going on in commercial gyms. Man, people recording, people doing this, and I don't want to end up, I ain't got to deal with none of that. I ain't got to deal with people talking about you on their machine, and it's just me in here. So if I'm doing what I say that I'm going to do, out of the way, out of bounds, why do you think people have a problem with that? It's because they haven't figured it out yet. And it's irritating after a while to keep seeing what I'm posting over all these years, right? I understand that. Don't you want to see what's possible a little bit before we hang it up? Like when I go to the park, it's always older people out there and they're just like, get it, young man, because it's like they're in their golden years. Some of them like, man, I wish I would have took better care of myself younger. One dude, I'm running down the stairs. He's coming down there. He said, how old are you? I said, 46. He said, man, I'm 63. I wish I would have took it seriously at 46. I said, okay, well, you're an inspiration to me because I'm trying to be out here and be active if I'm here at 63.